So today we'll film one of my last videos about King Paimon for a long time. This video will purposefully be unedited because editing will ruin the message. I need to be as honest as possible. In order to understand this video, you need to understand that spirits are demanding, especially Paimon. And Paimon is dangerous in a different way than other spirits. Paimon will not make your mind. Paimon will not make you insane. Paimon will not dissolve your psyche. Paimon will not overwhelm you. Paimon will not kill you if you don't do what he says. But there is a note in working with Paimon people need to be aware of. In the beginning, Paimon will be really light-hearted, really kind, really loving and compassionate. But only in the beginning. And as time progresses, he will be darker and darker and darker and darker until you reach the point where he shows how grandiose and imaginative he is. There are no light-hearted things in True Mysteries of Paimon. He is as cruel and ruthless as Belial, as intelligent as Lucifer, as cunning as Mephistopheles, as strong as Behemoth, as sharp as the sharpest blade. People take Paimon lightly those days, without understanding that he is no less powerful than any of the mighty entities presented within the literature. His might surpasses many other spirits, but people are unaware of the reasons why he's so powerful. I am crying a little bit because I see my journey with Paimon becoming more ruthless, cruel and darker as the time unveils. In the beginning, his mysteries were light. It was only about the intellect, geometry and poetry, but now, when I see my work with him, what I see is the cruel, manipulative darkness, which is really beneficial, but not for the faint of heart. The danger of working with Paimon is different than the danger of working with Belial. While Belial can destroy your mind, Paimon can take over your life and arrange it in such a way that you will go according to his directions and be completely unaware of it. He will ally the threads of your life. The things would randomly appear. People would randomly come. Events randomly happened. But you will understand after some time that all of the events and people had the same signature, the same vibe, the same hand in the background. The hand of Paimon himself. But when the events are happening and unveiling, you are unaware of it. You only become aware of it much later, when it's too late. I see my life right now in completely different light. In a light which is black, in a light which is dark, in a light which is sealed with his essence, with his power and his might. And I understand that he came to my life long before first invocation, long before the first ritual. He came much earlier. And even if I stopped working right now, which I will in the future, the events he orchestrated will forever have consequences, will forever have his hand behind them. You can leave work with Belial. You can leave work with many demons, but with Paimon it's not the case. Once he truly enters in a relation he is interested in, he makes sure that he will never leave, and that makes him more dangerous than all of the demons I listed before on this channel. I can safely say that Paimon is more dangerous than anyone I mentioned. But he is dangerous in a different way. When you call him, there is no bailing out. If he truly decides to work with you, if it is not just a superficial relation for material gain and the gain, short-term gain of you and him. If he truly wants long-term dedication and devotion from you, and you accept it, there is no way you can get out. You will forever be on his string, in his scheme, a part of his plan, a plan so huge and grandiose that you will become aware that the plan was there only long after it already started, and it is difficult to come out of it. Paimon is an energy of manipulative, machinative intellect. He has emotions, but even those emotions are manipulated by the power of his mind. In truth, Paimon is the thought of smokeless fire, great manipulative scheme, and the current behind it. That is the essence of Paimon. That is the key of Paimon. And now I will give a series of meditations to Paimon. The series of exercises which prepare the soul to work with Paimon. Back in a day, I filmed a video how to open astral senses with Paimon. That video contained the seal of the jaw, and this video will contain the seal as well. I will edit it with the clip which contains the Dajjal's seal. So for those who do not want to use the methods I will present here, they can replace them with the Dajjal's seal. But let's start now, shall we? This pathworking is designed to be safe for the people to be able to summon Paimon safely, more or less. What you should do is this. First, learn to meditate. Learn to empty your mind. And meditate every day for half of an hour. For a month. Don't summon anything. Don't meditate on anything. Just meditate for a month. Learn how to go into trance. Learn 4 stages of trance. What they are and how to achieve them. I will talk about trance later on this channel, but in this video I assume that you already know what trance is and how to achieve it. And you will learn it if you learn how to meditate. So first and foremost, meditate for half of an hour every day without any thoughts, without any feelings. Learn to empty the mind. Before you learn that, try absolutely nothing. Don't try anything before you learn to meditate. Shut the fuck up and silence your mind. After you have learned to meditate, add this visualization into your meditation. Visualize the ball of light radiating into your third eye and coming out at the back of your head. Train this visualization for a month. Every single day for an hour. After you finish this second stage, then apply the following routine. Every single day at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. maximum. Wake up. Take a shower. And then do the following. Meditate for 15 minutes. Do light wall exercise for 15 minutes. Then repeat Ayat al-Kursi from the Quran 7 times. And after that, repeat the name of Allah, known as Al-Dar, 300 times. Now I need to explain what are the names of Allah, because people don't understand it. But people need to understand it in order for me to work with Jinn and in order for them to work with Jinn. You see, if you look at Sufi literature, the names of Allah are the words of power which generate the energies of the source. The meaning of the name Ad-Dar or Al-Dar, depending on the region, pronunciation differs, is he who brings harm or he who brings punishment. It is Arabic. It is really poetic language. Therefore, even translation differs. But esoteric meaning of the name is still the same. Aldar means he who brings judgment or he who brings harm. And it is a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which is capable of summoning and conjuring the harmful beings, beings which bring destruction. Now I will theoretically explain what happens when you recite the name of Addar or Aldar. So according to the Sufi literature, God is absolute source of all creation, positive and negative energy. When we pronounce his names, we come in contact with some of those energies which emanate from him. Every single name of God corresponds to different energy. Therefore, when you train those names of God and when you pronounce them and use them as mantras, you essentially come in contact with spiritual energy generated by the power of the name. When you pronounce the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't summon any entity, because the source of all creation is not an entity in a classical sense. The source is all-encompassing field of consciousness and life and glory and wisdom and knowledge and might, which is progenitor of everything. Many people don't understand that under different words, Allah, Brahman, God, all, the writers meant the same thing. So, you need to repeat the name of Aldar 300 times every day before you reach the point in which you had 100,000 repetitions. You don't have to recite the name only 300 times every day. You can do more. But essentially, what you need to understand is that without mastery of this divine energy, you cannot safely and surely work with Jinn or any other destructive force. Mastery of those names is necessary for a magician. And this is something which is not out of my head. This is something which I received through communion with Lilith, and I worked with Lilith for 7 years. So, if you really want to blame somebody, you should ask Lilith about the divine names, or please leave me alone. I am simply the messenger. So don't shoot the messenger. If you dislike what I said, the only thing I can tell you is to fuck off, but let's keep. So let's re-evaluate the entire process. So you meditate for half of an hour every day. I explained what meditation is. Then After that period, for a month, you then do meditation for 15 minutes, and then you do a light ball exercise for half of an hour for a month, and then after those 2 months you do meditation for half an hour, you do light ball exercise for 15 minutes, then what you do is you repeat Ayat al-Kursi 7 times, and then you start reciting the divine name in the 3rd month of your spiritual preparation to be able to summon the Jinn. Now the reason why Ayat al-Kursi is recited is the following. Ayat al-Kursi is the ayat in the Quran, which, when properly recited and mastered, builds the fortification of the astral body. You see, those ancient scriptures, such as Quran, Avesta, Torah, they are constructed not for brainwashing the masses. Originally, they were constructed for spiritual elevation of people. Every single verse, every single chapter, every single sentence has a spiritual current underneath it. And through repetition of that ayat, through repetition of that sentence, we master the spiritual undercurrent of that power contained by God in that book, in that verse. And one of the many uses for the Quran and the Bible and the Torah and the Avesta and the Vedas is to summon negative entities, is to summon destructive energies. And it is your choice. Should you use the Quran or the Bible or the Vedas or the Torah to summon negative or positive entities? It is possible to do both. And I am presenting here a methodology to summon Paimon with it. So after you mastered the name of Al-Dar and he had 100,000 repetitions of the name, then in the 4th month of your practice, you are expected to start tapping into the spiritual current of Al-Dar, of that name. So after 3 months, you learn to meditate. You fortified your aura with the Ayat al-Kursi. You opened your astral senses through light ball visualization. Now you had the Al-Dar name repeated 100,000 times, but now you need to tap into the name of Al-Dar. So, what do you do? That is the question. So, as instructed, you wake up at 6 a.m. You meditate for 15 minutes. You do light ball visualization for 15 minutes. You recite the name of Al-Dar at least 300 times. Then draw Al-Dar, the name of Allah, in Arabic, and scry into it as a sigil. And then, when the energy start coming from the name after maybe 30 minutes. You will see it and feel it. And then as you pronounce the name of Aldar over and over again, envision that energy of the name coming out of your mouth. Now I need to give a little bit of instruction. How to scry into the sigil of the name. How to do so. So draw the name in Arabic and then put it in front of your eyes and look in direction of it and simply repeat the name. After half of an hour, the name will kind of start to not fade away from view. The lines will kind of start to flash, but the flash will not be appear and disappear, appear and disappear. It will be more like just a slight tingle, just a slight flash. When that happens, after maybe 10 to 15 minutes of simply look in the direction of the name, the energy will start coming through. And then as instructed, you should, while you pronounce the name of Aldar, imagine the energy of the name coming out of your mouth. You should also add this after 100,000 repetitions are finished. And you should do this after Aldar pronunciation for a month. So you are now working heavy esoteric work for 4 months. You mastered trance. You mastered how energy of Aldar works. Now you can call King Paimon with it. After those 4 months of preparation, after you learned how to meditate, open your astral senses with the light bulb visualization. After you fortified your aura with the Ayat al-Kursi and learned the name of Aldar, tapped into its current, you are ready to summon King Paimon, the King of the Jinn, using that divine name. The ritual will be really simple. Take the red garment or even red t-shirt. Leave it in the bathroom for 3 days and light incense on King Paimon at top of that t-shirt every single day and say that the incense is dedicated to Paimon. Then after 3 days, put the t-shirt on. Lock the doors of the bathroom. Make the bathroom completely dark. Light only a single oil lamp. And then simply chant, by the power of Aldar, I open the gates of the unseen and call the drinking Paimon. By the power of Aldar, I open the gates of the unseen and call the drinking Paimon. Chant over and over and over again. And since you opened your astral senses, fortified your aura, and mastered your divine name, the divine name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Paimon will come. He will come really quickly, he will come really effectively, and he will come safely. So here is the fullest and complete short guideline on how to summon Paimon. For those who are unwilling to master divine name, there is a weaker replacement. The divine name should be replaced with the burning of the seal of the Dajjal ritual. I actually changed my mind, and the seal of the Dajjal will not be involved in this video, because people are lazy, and I will force them to do things harder and safer way. My warning about Paimon still stands, and it will always stand. I will never retract it. But if you wanted a safe and effective method and routine to come in contact with King Paimon, this 5-month routine is detailed. It gives you all of the exercises and all of the practices you need to do. First you learn to meditate, then you add light ball in, then you add Ayat al-Kursi 7 times, then you essentially master and try to master the name of Al-Dar through repeating it 100,000 times in a month. After that you learn to tap into the divine name using the name as the sigil. By the way, you can find an Arabic inscription of the name Al-Dar or Ad-Dar on the internet. I don't need to share this with you. After you master the divine name, then you summon Paimon in the 5th month of your spiritual practice, 5th month of your daily practice, 5th month of consistent practice. Those 5 months, those crucial 5 months, will make your mind stable enough so that you don't go insane once the spirit is conjured. I will say here, loudly and clearly, I will give a warning. The name of Al-Dar will generate adversity in your life, but that adversity will be much weaker than the adversity demons cause. But those adversities will, essentially, prepare your mind for difficulties of working with darker entities. So listen to this video carefully. Everything is explained in detail. I gave all of the steps and all of the procedures, and this is only a summoning manual for one spirit, and it took me almost an hour to film, and it contained a lot of information, a lot of digression. And I give one more warning before you try anything. First, learn how to meditate. Learn light ball meditation. Fortify your aura with Ayat al-Kursi. Master the name of Al-Dar. And then decide, is working with the darker Jinn, aka Shayateen, the right for you? Is it worth the risk? If the answer is yes, do it. If the answer is no, go to something else. And see you soon.